Man, here we are, Leland Live, Talk 99.5 out here in Wall, South Dakota. I'm getting a lot of feedback from folks back home who know this town, know this area. I've got connections to this area. I'll tell you about some of those later as we continue our America's 250 Leland Live on the road show out west. This is sort of almost right smack in the middle of South Dakota, just out from Rapid City, where, of course, in the more western part where you've got Mount Rushmore and the Crazy Horseman Monument and the Black Hills and all the beauty here, the Badlands. We're really kind of right here at the entrance to the Badlands National Park, which is an amazing drive if you ever get a chance to drive through there. It's like you're on the moon. Really incredible place in our country. And the story here, we're at Wall, famous traveler stop out here in just the middle of the Interstate 90. And you see billboards for, I think Mr. Rick told me they got billboards back into Minnesota to steer people here. And he told us the history of how this place started. And let me look at my cup. 1931, it was the Dust Bowl. It was the Depression, post-Depression. The country, nobody could make a dime, and they had a little drugstore near here. And somebody in the family, I'll just tell you the quick summary, somebody in the family decided all these thirsty travelers going to see the Badlands could use a cup of water. So they started offering free ice water in addition to some other things. And they kind of became a refreshment stop. And they put a few signs out on the road to steer people in here. And it really put Wall on the map. This place grew, as he said, from a little soda fountain drugstore to a 76,000 square foot tourist facility. It's like a little community in and of itself. So you see my friend the Buffalo. I'm just reestablishing some things. If y'all have been listening for a couple hours, you've heard this already. Our friend the Buffalo back here, that's a real buffalo. He's dead, though. AJ, he is not alive. I wouldn't be turning my back on him. He's been keeping us company. We're kind of in the back area. We tried to get in a place where we could make all of our noise, but we got a lot of kids running around out here and people coming back and forth. Just a really neat place to visit. Inside the building, just near where we are, is just a lot of historic stuff. And then, of course, I don't know what the hell's going on right there. Oh, that's my buddy over here watering the plants. He's been taking care of these beautiful flowers. It is 100 degrees out here. Also, one thing I haven't pointed out to you, AJ, you might have seen me on the camera. I'm covered up with flies right now. They keep landing on me. And so if you see me suddenly jump or dance or do a Michael Jackson move, just common old flies out here in the heat.
Yeah, and those are different type of flies too.
They look like Alabama flies. Let me say roll tide. Let's see where they're from. Yeah. Now these look like old house flies. They're just part of outside. Anytime you got food outside and people outside. By the way, the show this hour brought to you by Alabama Gold Refinery. Our buddy Steve over there in Homewood, ready to help you with anything you need when it comes to gold, silver, or platinum. You know, some of you will just take off and go try to find somebody that'll buy it from you, and you could get lowballed that way. Steve gives you fair value because this is a metals exchange. It's not. They don't do a bunch of other things. This is the focus of their business. So they'll sell it to you. They'll buy it from you. They'll trade with you all of the metal platforms. And it's just a popular thing to do and a smart thing to do to have some of your portfolio invested in these fine metals. Alabama Gold Refinery, they're in the center of Homewood, easy to get to from all over our listening area, a fair shop, a safe shop, all the security in place to get that kind of stuff done. It's AGR in Homewood. Y'all go see Steve and take care of business. Alabama Gold Refinery. .com, alabamagoldrefinery.com. By the way, you're going to hear some sudden outburst of tourists that are out here hanging out. AJ, never underestimate the stupidity of particularly young white teenage males. I'm just saying. One of them just decided to cackle. They don't even notice me over here doing a radio show. I don't care. It's kind of fun. All right, so we'll go to the phones too, your phone calls. We are 100% going with the headlines today and doing all these things, but your phone calls are always important too, so get in here. We'll put you on the radio. It is, let me repeat the temperature. Y'all are at, last time I looked, y'all are still in the 80s in Birmingham, which is a nice break from all the heat, but the rain's still out there. Let me take on this forecast for just a second. 100 degrees where I am. Back in the Birmingham area in north central Alabama, y'all are at 84. A lot of that's because of cloud cover and rain. It's one of those summers where if it's not the heat, it's just more and more rain. And so today there are lots of just scattered thunderstorms. What's weird about them is they're kind of swirling in to our listening area from the south and east. Most Alabama weather moves in from the north and west, and it just kind of goes through in a funnel system. But when you look at the big radar, it's like a swirl effect. It almost looks like the way a tropical signature looks as things swirl around a center of a low. And that center was right, looks like it was right over Shelby County late yesterday and last night. Now it's kind of moving off to the east and taking these bands with it. So tonight, the weather is coming from the opposite direction. Shouldn't be anything severe, but rain on top of rain and drought-busting weather continues. The good news on that front is we're not expected to – right now, the computer models that we're starting to spit out these forecasts that maybe this weekend we could see some tropical development down in the Gulf. That's not looking as strong today. And if it does develop, most of that looks like a Florida story where it may get into the Big Bend and go down towards South Georgia. So really an outlier right now in terms of it affecting the weather around Birmingham. So just know that as we truck along here this afternoon. Let me start back at the top in that very first piece of sound we ran from the president, AJ. I want to repeat that again because whatever he's going to do on Thursday night, I don't know if you want to say that it's ominous, but they're really, really building this up to be some kind of major announcement. And like I said before, they've cloaked it in an address to the nation, which you don't always see. Now, I always have to give this caveat. Trump will he will bloviate. He and his team will champion something if it's a passion they have or something they want to push, and they'll give it all the they can. But I don't think they've rarely abused this concept of an address to the nation. It always has to be something serious. And in the past, it's always dealt with say Nixon when he was under the scandal crisis, or Clinton when he was in the middle of scandal, or sometimes Reagan. I think about Bush during 9/11 and other times when presidents address us directly in a primetime speech, not really a news conference, but a speech. That drama factor usually accompanies war. And when he made this announcement, it sounded like what we were going to be talking about was, of course, something to do with the Iran situation. But what we're starting to pick up on and what's being said around Washington is this is about election fraud. And they're about to unveil something that's jaw-dropping and very serious and will give clarity to our understanding of what has happened inside this country and how our elections are being abused. Y'all, I don't know that there's a more serious matter in this moment right now in this country. If we don't return the integrity and belief that those systems are legit, if we all believe the system is fair, we can win or lose and deal with it because there's always another election. But if we start to see that the government itself, foreign actors, and any others are conspiring to defraud the public by rigging elections, like clearly it seems like they did in Georgia with Warnock and Ossoff, this country's going to come apart at the seams. Without the ballot box, we descend into chaos and we succumb to people's nature to defend themselves and, in some cases, take matters in their own hands. And we don't want to devolve into that. We made it 250 years. We've got to put integrity back in that process. I gave a speech earlier in the show about the security around our justices. That's being talked about in Washington today. We're in a climate right now where the American left thinks that it's within their rights, I suppose, to try to intimidate these people on their decisions with threats of violence at their homes and in their lives if they don't get what they want. We're descending into that kind of madness. We've already seen attempts on the president's life. Hell, there was a story today where they caught some nut job at DOJ that had a plan to assassinate Donald Trump Jr., of all people. We know about there have been plans against Ivanka Trump since Trump was shot. So it's not just the executives and sometimes members of Congress who've also been under assault and attack. It's members of the court who were testifying about that, at least in brief today. And so whatever the president's going to talk about, the fundamentals of our system are just being eroded, and we need these things. A country like ours that's free needs institutions like elections. We need fair courts. We need universities that aren't incubators for a-holes but actually teach stuff. We need journalism. We need true, fair journalism that seeks truth and reports with some kind of standards. And we're losing all those in a lot of ways. Something will take its place, and hopefully something better. But whatever it is the president's going to speak about, it seems pretty strong. Let's take a listen to what he had to say today in a news conference of some type. It was some kind of gaggle gathering at the White House when reporters asked him about this Thursday night speech.
Are anticipating your big announcement on Thursday night regarding election machines and integrity. Can you give us sort of a sneak peek about what to expect and tell
Well, I'd rather save it. It will concern that subject, and we'll have a couple of other things to say also. But I'd rather save it, but it's really big news. It's really, really big news. And our country has to shape up. But that's what we're going to be talking about Thursday is it doesn't get bigger, because without free and fair elections, you don't have a country. We'll be discussing other things too, but it's going to be a very big announcement. Yeah.
So the hype is there, and I'm looking very much forward to it. And I know wherever we are landing on our western swing and all our stops out here on the road, we'll certainly be talking about this full bore on Friday. By the way, people are saying, where are you next? Tomorrow, still a little bit uncertain, but I think we're in one of the western towns here tomorrow. I'm having to move some things on the fly mainly because of the weather. Doing outdoor shows has become difficult, so we're having to find indoor venues in some ways. But Thursday and Friday, we will be at the daddy of them all, and that is the big rodeo in Cheyenne, the one that they write all the songs about in that mad crowd out there in the heat as well. Not quite as warm down in southern Wyoming as it is here today. But, yeah, that's kind of our schedule for this week as we work our way back to Birmingham and back home to Sweet Home, Alabama, with these live road shows. Axiom Tax Resolution Group bringing you the show tonight, 205tax.com, 205tax.com. Man, if you start getting sideways with the IRS, it can be intimidating. If any of you have ever gotten these threat letters, years ago, Perry showed me how those threats work, showed me some texts from some of these letters directed at people that became his clients. And they know what they're doing in terms of that collection agency. They're the government, and they are not going to tell you everything you need to know about whatever your situation is, including programs that let you settle for less. Their job is to get that money and to intimidate you into doing it now. And that's not fair, especially as unfair as the tax code is. If there's a program to help you settle for less, they have to negotiate with you. If there are programs and there are laws that prevent them from using certain harassment tactics, you don't have to put up with that. Perry can help you get this stuff done. Here's the other truth. This is the nice side of the IRS. How about that? Look, a lot of those folks that work there, they don't get up every day just to harass people. And if you're working with them and not running from your obligations, they'll actually work with you. They'll work on a settlement. They'll get a payback plan. You just got to know how to do it. Perry Cronin knows how to do it. This is what he does. This is his job. This is his practice. He set up Axiom just for this, to help people unwind their situations with the IRS and get some peace, get some sleep, and know that you've met your obligations. Because the sad part is, by the time you get through one scary tax deadline, there's another one looming. It just keeps coming. So let Perry intercede. Before you make a miscalculation or a bad decision, or somebody gives you some bad advice, talk to the guy who knows more about this than probably anybody in the country. And I believe this. We are very fortunate to have Perry in the Birmingham area to be able to help us with these matters. It's Axiom Tax Resolution Group, 205tax.com, 205tax.com. Back here in just a minute from Wall, South Dakota. Stay tuned. Yeah, what good is it going to do? 423 Leland Live, talking Internet on 5 over here in Wall, South Dakota at the famous Wall Drug. As we roll right along this afternoon, my friend Charlie reached out to me and said, they got a badass breakfast here. Man, I came too late. I should have come earlier this morning. All I know is I had a very rushed cheeseburger there. They gave me, one of the guys helped me kind of, I'll be honest with you, shortcut the line because I didn't have time to wait and get the show on. I needed to get to eat. I bought it. I bought my hamburger, but I'm just saying they're very helpful for me to get lunch. AJ, that was a mighty fine burger, man. I didn't eat fries or anything. Just had the hamburger with my little tea over here, and I'm still thinking about it. So I may have that for dinner too.
Don't say there might be a burger part 2 in your future.
Burger 2. I've had a lot of red meat on this trip. It's just a big thing. You would expect that, I guess. Hey, by the way, the trip brought to you by our friends at Appalachian Foothills RV Repair Center, and they've got an RV park there. They're in Winfield, which is just right up I-22 from Birmingham. It's where I've done my service for years. I got to know Stan. Stan used to work back at Tiffin. I got to know him back in those days. And since then, they opened up this center, and this is where I get my oil changes done, my routine service. Anytime I'm about to head out, you've got to do that on a pretty frequent basis. RVs will sit a lot, and so there are things that can go weird when it's just sitting there, and then you use them for a spell, and then they sit there. So you got to keep things up to speed. So, and also, it's a mechanical system. It's an engine and a drivetrain and wheels and all that, but at the same time, it is also a house, and it's got electrical and heating and air and plumbing and hot water and all these things that from time to time need service themselves or can break, or you might scuff a tree and need some paint work. They do all of that there, and they'll work on it for you and get it done for you in the kindest way. They're just good people. My man John over there just went out of his way to troubleshoot some things I had going on before we left on this trip, because you want to leave and be able to have everything buttoned up. I'll give you an example real quick. I had a thermostat go out on a Generac generator that's on board my unit, and you need that when you get out here and it's that hot. You got to run generator to run the air conditioner system in the rest of the coach. And without that generator, boy, you'd boil to death. It'd be impossible. In fact, a guy pulled in next to me the other day that had that problem, and he had to pull over at a place where he could plug up and just wait on it to get dark to be able to travel. So that would have been a problem on this trip. They were able to dig into it and find out that it was nothing but a very inexpensive thermostat, but they were able to, you got to take a lot of stuff apart to get to it. They got to it, got me back on the road, and we have used that generator several times in that way. We even did the show at Cody when we went to the Cody Rodeo on this trip. Without that generator, couldn't have produced the show. That was our electrical source. So just a story about how good they are and how smart they are and what they can do for you at Appalachian Foothills. They're right off exit 30 up there on in Winfield, about a mile off the interstate. You can't miss them, and you'll appreciate building a relationship with people that can troubleshoot your problems if you're one of these nomadic people that get out here and do these things on the road. I asked Rick, the owner, if y'all were listening a couple hours ago. Rick, we were graced to have him pop over and tell us the family story and the history of this particular establishment out here in Wall and how it became just a tourist landmark. And I was just utterly fascinated with what he told us. But one of the questions I asked him, and I think we talked about this yesterday, was there's a movie called Nomadland. And when you're watching it, it feels like a documentary, but because it was shot that way. But it stars Frances McDormand, who I think is just an exceptional actress. And not to give too much of the plot away, but she hits a stage in life. She finds out about these people that just get rid of their houses, get rid of their responsibilities. They get in basically a cargo van, and then they just live from town to town, living out of their vans in a very simple lifestyle to just kind of, I guess, get away from it all. You can watch the movie for all the emotional stuff. Well, one of the scenes they shot, part of the movie, she takes a job here at Wall Drug to make some income, and sometimes that community, that nomad community, will do that. They'll take seasonal work for a summer somewhere, save up their cash, live without a lot of expenses, and then use that money to get through the rest of the year. And apparently, seasonally, you got tourist places like this that will hire. So they incorporated that into the movie. And when you're watching it, you feel like you're watching real people, not actors. So I asked Rick, the owner, I said, was that your staff? Was she working with your people? And he was amazed by her. He said she put on the uniform, she put on the hat, she waited on real customers, she worked with their staff, took smoke breaks with their staff. It was an immersive film where she enmeshed herself as if she was really living in that community. And so a lot of the people in the film are not actors. They're some actors clearly, but they are people that are just in real life living that lifestyle. She sort of went into that culture, made a fictional film about her character, and it really is an amazing watch. Somewhat uplifting, somewhat not, but some of that they did shoot here, and he went on and on about what a fine actress she is. I met her when I was like 22 on the set of a movie where I was an extra, and she was all the same back then, just treated all us like real people. So a little celebrity thing here at the Wall Drug location. We're going to take a bottom of the hour break. I'm going to go refill my tea glass, AJ, because it's still 100 degrees with the wind out here in South Dakota. Hottest part of the country right here where I'm standing on this summer day in July. Bottom of the hour, 4:30. We'll be back in a minute. More of your phone calls, too. 545-9950. Stay tuned. Man, y'all get on back in here. Let's keep trying to do this thing. Crocker Moving Services bringing you the show tonight. CrockerMovingServices.com. Man, Eric is just a straight. Once you meet Eric, you'll see he's the perfect mover because I kid with him. He's a Marine, always a Marine. That was his early career, and then he left the Marine Corps, started a moving company. And when you meet him, he's still got the Marine haircut, got that straightforward attitude. He does not mess around. He helped. I remember one time he helped John Lanius, our friends at Lanius Furniture Company, when they were moving into their new location. He helped his company move one of my other clients so they could get their furniture operation moved. They needed some more manpower. And I remember John reaching out to me going, man, that Eric, he is a serious guy. He gets it done. I was like, you bet. That's the biggest compliment you can give a mover. He's going to take care of his stuff, your stuff. He hires just the best people. He said from day one when he joined the show years ago that he would not hire somebody to go to your house that he wouldn't have in his own house. They just look for quality people. And these guys are always so professional and nice, and I think they respond to Eric's personality and his leadership. When you've been a leader in the Marine Corps, you know how to get young, strong men to pull in the right direction and get these kind of projects done. And that's what they do day in and day out at Crocker Moving Services. They move your stuff, whether it's just a 2-hour move, just something quick, or whether it's something bigger. It's LaniusFurnitureCompany.com. Well, here we are with the hot wind blowing in South Carolina. I got to admit, it's a little bit cooler than it was yesterday. It's like a dragon's breath, dry, blazing heat out here. I mentioned it a couple times. This is where the heat dome has moved just right over this area, just this part of South Dakota. So I'm looking forward to continue. I never thought I'd say this. I'm looking forward to moving further south this at the end of the week so we can get cooler. In Birmingham, you're still dealing with a lot of scattered thunderstorms swirling around all around the Birmingham area. So watch out for that tonight. If you're out there in traffic trying to get home, that can always be a booger this time of the day. What you're looking at, if you're watching us online at one of the channels, online, YouTube and whatnot, I don't even know how many platforms we're on, but that's the inside of the building that's right behind me. This is more of just a general kids area for the most part. They've got some gold painting you can do in there here at Wall Drug. And that, I think somebody asked me, is that a bear? AJ, I'm going to zoom in on this thing over here. So they got this buffalo behind me that's been behind me the whole show. He's been my co-host today. But yeah, that's a bear in a cage, in a glass. He looks kind of sad in the glass. It's like an aquarium. It's like a bear aquarium. It's a bear aquarium with a 6-foot rabbit. I think that you'll see there's billboards. I meant to ask Mr. Rick about that. There's billboards all up and down the interstate that say, we have a 6-foot rabbit. So I guess it's that thing back there that you're looking at. So you can take a picture with the 6-foot rabbit. I don't know.
Yeah, that rabbit looks kind of creepy. I'm sorry.
He's creepy. He's like Donnie Darko. You remember that movie? That's a creepy movie.
That looks like the elusive jackrabbit.
And so you wonder why they have to put the bear in the glass, because the buffalo back behind me. I'll switch to that shot. My friend, the buffalo back here, he is not in a glass. So you think the tourists start messing with the bear, putting gum in his fur or something like that?
Probably so. You know, it's got to be that one tourist that just did something stupid.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, look at this. And, you know, yeah.
Say that again. I liked your accent.
Well, look at this.
Hi, Bubba.
Hey, let's watch me climb this bear.
Look, he's going to give me a hug. Mama, take a picture. And next thing you know, the bear's in the floor, and they have to patch him up.
Yeah.
Poor old bear. One of my favorite
bear, of course.
One of my favorite Far Side cartoons. Y'all remember the Far Side? Was it Gary Larson? I used to just buy those whole books, little panel cartoons that were in the newspaper. He's got one of this hunter. It's sort of a 2-panel, and this bear is drinking out of a stream, all peaceful. He's just sweet little bear drinking some water, and this hunter pops up behind him and goes, you just see blam. And then the next panel, he's got him stuff in his living room, and his claws are all out, and his teeth are all out, like he was this, like he killed him that way. The poor thing was just getting a drink of water, and he got capped. Yeah, so yeah, all kind of fun stuff in that hallway. I showed y'all the historic pictures. I just feel like playing right now. I know we've got headlines, and we've dealt with as much of that as we can. Y'all, pardon me in my inexact ability to control these cameras from a distance. That camera's at least 100 and something feet from where I'm standing right now, so I'm trying to control this thing remotely while we talk on the radio. Now there's the dinosaur. If you bring your little kids here, now I got 3 little grandsons now. Here's a fun story. I'm a sentimental sap. And I have this toy box that I built for my oldest son when he was a baby. AJ, you'll be like this too. I know you. And I've saved almost every toy that kid had from his childhood. I got all his dinosaurs, all of his Thomas the Tank Trains. They're 35 years old for this moment when I would have grandkids come back through the house. And so every time the oldest ones come, they go straight to the dinosaurs. They just recreate all that Jurassic Park stuff that I've been traveling around and moving everywhere I've moved for the last 30-something years. So the boys love dinosaurs. Girls, not so much. It's just true. Call it a stereotype, whatever, they just do. So they have a mechanical, almost a Disney-like dinosaur that looks like it's back behind a Jurassic Park fence from the movie. And if you watch him closely, if you can watch online, you'll see him move his head in a minute.
Smiling?
Yeah, he's happy. He's at Wall Drug. He's happy for that free water and the 5-cent coffee.
It's kind of like he's looking at me right now as I just said that.
Yeah, he turned his head towards you and just says, like, what's your problem? You don't like my grill, son?
Smile for me.
Smile for me, Daddy. Let me see your grill. Yeah, I know that song. You know why I know that song? Because like Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, I would walk around the house when I was working on something and I would say, my drill. And nobody thought it was funny at all. But anyway, so the dinosaur in a minute, we're going to hold out and watch him for a second. When the kids walk by, I don't know if this thing's motion activated or if it just does it on a timer, but all these lights go off and the thing starts yelling at the kids. It starts growling like it's going to come out of there. And most of the bigger kids also obviously wait for that moment so they can get their picture. They wait for the time so they can get a photo when it's doing all that stuff or a video. But the little kids just completely crap their pants. Most of these larger tourist adults don't give a damn about the mechanical dinosaur. I meant to ask Mr. Rick about that. I think I'm going to have to fetch him and get him back over here before the show's over. But that thing's pretty fun. It's just a lot of kitschy stuff. And as you can hear in the background, I don't know if you can you hear the background music, AJ? I don't know what the mic's able to pick up with the wind and all.
Hear some music in the background.
You got that old Texas swing kind of old cowboy songs from the old movies playing. I have heard Red River Valley and Tumbling Tumbleweed at least 6 times since I've been here. I got here a couple hours before the show. But I love those old songs. And by the way, let me look this up. I had I Shazammed a Western song I heard this weekend. Let me see if I can find it. I'll cue you, AJ. And you can. It's a group called the Brudi Brothers, Brudi. If you got something to write with, play that one later with one of our bumpers if you got time. It's called Moon Over Montana. It's one of these. It sounds like a new song. They just recreated that vibe. But yeah, Tumbling Tumbleweed, and somehow I know these songs from childhood, I guess. But they got that kind of music playing in the background. Our dinosaur friend's not going to do anything right now. I think he's you know what he'll do right when I get ready to go to the break? He will fire up. And I should have put a mic in there so you can hear it when it goes off, because he growls and the whole hallway just trips out and everybody starts running like it's Godzilla in a movie. I wonder what the Japanese tourists do when he does that. Do you think they trip out? Their mouths aren't keeping up with their voices like Godzilla.
Now, one thing I know you didn't really get a chance, maybe you did, and I kind of missed it. But if you're looking at the video, Real Talk 995 TV, and you kind of look, you see the dinosaur. Is that like almost like a small town, almost a saloon going towards it?
The whole place is kind of built like a little small town village. So even though that's inside, see the porches and the storefronts. So each one of those is probably a little store. I bet that's a clothing store right there. And then this is just the backside of it. The front of it is the biggest gift shop you've ever seen, and a huge restaurant where people come in and there's certain things you eat here. And by the way, you ain't going to find any quinoa up in here. This is some heavy food. Just know you come in here for some rib sticking, serious food, and they will put it on you. And like I said, I keep thinking about that cheeseburger. It may happen again before the day's over. It wasn't that big. Yeah, I'm waiting on him, AJ. You think he's going to do it? You see him getting the kids ready for it. Just kind of fun. Just having some fun here. I mean, how many animatronics are you going to have in South Dakota? This may be the only one.
Right.
Unless there's like a Crazy Horse animatronic over in the Crazy Horse Museum. I doubt it. Anyway, all right, so that's enough of that. I'm stretching. I'm filibustering. Let me talk to you. I'll talk to y'all about Lonnie's Furniture Company again while we wait on the dinosaur to fire up. I think he's getting cocky right now. He's moving a lot. This is John and Reggie. I was just talking about them with Crocker Moving Services. And these are the guys that have been in business. This family name, that name brand of that store, is goes back to 92 years. I forget the actual year date. Working on their 93rd year, and a lot has changed, but a lot has not changed, because if you're doing things right with furniture, and I've learned this from these guys, the fundamentals have to be there. It has to be the best quality. It has to be priced right. You've got to do custom delivery, and you need to keep a lot of it so people can see a lot. A smaller store that can't handle this kind of weight, these kind of warehousing operations can't handle that much volume or that much change on the floor or this much stuff. But Lonnie's can. It's been their model the whole time. Just keep going and build those relationships with the manufacturers. So sometimes they get deals. For example, Lazy Boy could call them and said, we got an overrun on leather, beautiful leather. They'll buy it in bulk. They'll get it shipped back here and put it out there, put it on sale sometimes. Even when they don't have a sale, they've got incredible value, because when you compare what you get to the price, there's your value. It's not just some cheap price for a cheap piece of furniture. That's not worth anything. But the beautiful stuff, the custom ordering like Bassett, and the stuff that you can get just done any way you want, that's the ticket. Y'all, it's Lonnie's Furniture Company. They're off exit 280. I say it that way on purpose. I don't say 280 because I don't want you to get it confused that somehow this is on the 280 corridor. They're up the interstate in a little town called Kimberly, right off the interstate, and they're an unexpected surprise. Just a whole lot of furniture in a little small town, and plenty for the whole home. Great values, good people you want to go back and do business with at a later date. It's LauniusFurnitureCompany.com, LAUNIUS, LauniusFurnitureCompany.com. Back here with more in a minute, and your phone calls, 545-9950, on the road in Wall, South Carolina. It'll feel good. Get wet. It'll feel good, and you'll dry off with it. Man, it's 10 minutes before 5 o'clock. Distinctive pools. If I had a distinctive pool right now, I'd go splash in it and stay in it until midnight to cool off. Wouldn't that be nice? I love a night swim. When you got your own pool at home, you can do that butt naked. You can do what you want to do. I guess as long as you got the right fence. Or like me, you live in the middle of the woods. Ain't nobody seeing that. Today's National Nudity Day. I don't know where I read that. Anyway, my friend Gary Levesque, what a great guy. Veteran, just such a character. When you meet him, you'll see what I mean. Got so many stories. But he's been building pools and hardscapes himself, just Gary, well over 40 years. And then you add to that the experience of his team. You got the best pool builders in anywhere in Alabama. So look on their website. You'll see what I mean. Just incredible value, incredible design work. It starts there. That whole project needs to fit your home. If it looks like it was just stuck on there or it's not properly built, it could decrease the value of your home because you've sort of thinned the market out. Some people just don't want a pool at all. But if you build it right and it's beautiful and it ties in, even people who weren't seeking a pool will look at that and go, that's cool, and it adds value. See what I mean? And then if you're obviously catering to people that want a pool on a home, should you ever sell your home, same thing. I mean, they're going to fall in love with it. It'll be a centerpiece. Not to mention, just for you, forget selling your home, stay in there, inviting the grandkids over, having entertainment. If you build all these hardscape features around it that tie it in, like outdoor kitchens and fireplaces, you can use it all year. Use it in the fall. I tell the story over and over about some good friends of ours that had a Super Bowl party. I wasn't even interested in the Super Bowl, but I liked them, wanted to go hang out at their house. And it was in the middle of the winter, and they had one of those setups where they got the fireplace, the TV on outside, and the pool going with the lights. It was beautiful. I thought that's the way you do it. Distinctive Pools can build that, design that, get you financed, and make it happen. DistinctivePools.com, DistinctivePools.com. AJ, the dinosaur finally fired off right when I went to the break. He just,
yeah, I saw they had like the lights and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, the lights go crazy, and all the kids go, ah! And then the big fat tourists go, damn, man, that thing looks real. That's real. Go pull on him and see if he's real.
Man, that look real nice in my den right there.
I chewed him with a 30-06 right there behind us. Thomas, let's go to Thomas. A couple phone calls. Let's do the phone calls. Thomas, what's up, buddy?
Oh, not much. I was just telling AJ that the Dakotas have no shortage of flies.
No doubt.
I was up there a couple of weeks ago in North Dakota, and they were just like, thick as grass. I don't know. I know I cleaned my windshield off in Grand Forks and drove to Lakota about 50 miles. By the time I got there, I thought, what was the point of cleaning that windshield off? I mean,
that happens. I catch them in the daytime out here, and I'll stop between truck stops. I got a 4.5 or 5 foot windshield. This thing's massive, and they will just be coated on that thing just in between stops, just day driving. So a lot of times I have to hit it with the pole that you get at the truck stop. Yep.
And my friends that live there, they just tell me, what do you mean? This is just normal. I said, okay.
Exactly.
But it taught the temperature swings too, because talking to them yesterday, it hit 101 in Lakota. But my friend, when I first went up there a few years ago, she showed me a picture she had taken at the Grand Forks Air Force Base. Had a digital thermometer as you went in the gate, and it showed minus 25. And she said, that's not right. That's only as far as the thermometer goes down to. It was actually minus 40. But following July, they hit 112 degrees. So
it's amazing. Yeah.
It was a hardy breed of people to settle that place.
Think about it. They did it. We complain, I'm hot. They did this stuff on horses and wagons and in some cases on foot. I mean, they just kept moseying with Indians shooting at them. I mean, and all the hostility, the nature itself, the animals that can eat you in addition to the weather. And it's just amazing. And so their descendants are still out here, and I think there's a
Yep.
you said hardy, but there you can sense it. There's a decency and a humbleness and a hardiness amongst these people that's been handed down for 5 or 6 generations from their ancestors.
And that's
no
one
doubt.
thing. The more I started spending up there with those people and getting to know more people, I realized these are our people. These are the people
No
like
doubt.
me and you.
Yep.
They're us. So I'm thinking, if it ever gets bad enough, I don't know where I'm going. But every time I
No
drive
doubt.
to Atlanta, I think, when I drive to Atlanta, I start thinking, North Dakota doesn't look so bad right now.
All of these states, I think South Dakota is probably my second favorite state next to Wyoming, which is, of course, why we're out here in this part of the country again. But it's just, it's like you said, it's that winter, man. I'm not cut that way. And so I love it in the summer, but I could not deal with what these people deal with early in the year, too. About October, they'll be covered in snow.
Oh, yeah. And I'm talking about in the summer out there, how you like the sun going down at 9:30 at night?
No, it's so late. Yeah, your body clock can't even adjust, and they're an hour
Oh, I
behind.
know.
So I've gone to bed before sunset several times out here already. Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of that, a news story I just read on the local news here that Congress passed daylight savings time bill, whatever you call it, and now it's got to go to the Senate to get ratified so it'll end changing the clocks.
Man, I just don't know which way they're going to leave them. I mean, they're going to leave them on the time we're on now, or go back to what's called standard
that's what they're saying. It was saying it would be the time we're on now. It would, and pointed out, well, on Christmas morning it'll be sunrise at this time, but the sun won't set till 6 o'clock, and of course it's Eastern time they're talking about. So,
and then what happens to that hour of our life? Do we ever get that back? Is it just gone? It's like watching a bad movie or something. I guess it's just gone. Yeah.
Hey, split it down the middle. Do 30 minutes. Just be done.
It's like you can now be an hour late somewhere and you got an hour's credit. They can say, well, it's okay. We lost that hour. That's what happens. Yep.
Exactly.
Thomas.
All right. Well, you have a
good call, my friend.
up there and have a great time.
Thanks, man. Here's Maria. Let's get Maria's got a traffic update for us. She's better than her own traffic team. She's on it. Maria, what's up, girl?
Hi. Enjoyed listening to your trip.
Thank you.
459 northbound starting to back up toward Acton Road, and I thought it was because of a stall at Liberty, which, that can do that, or because the sky is black as night, so it was rain, but left lane just before 459, there's at least 3 cars involved. It's going to be a minute. There's a bumper in the road, and so anyway, good luck.
Do you think is it weather related, or just that compounded this time of day plus the weather?
Yeah.
All that. Gotcha.
And people on their phones. I don't know.
Yep. TikToking,
But
whatever they're doing.
Looking at their phones. I'm not holding my phone because that's against the law.
She's on speakerphone. We can tell. All right. Thank you, Maria. We appreciate it.
You bet. Take care.
Yeah, she talked about the skies being ominous. I keep a check on the Birmingham radar, and it's just a swirling batch of scattered storms. If you get underneath one of these things, it's going to be pretty heavy stuff. But and it's what's weird to me, if you're used to the way the weather moves, and I talked about this earlier, it's kind of moving from the southeast to the from the south to the west rather than from the north to the east. So these storms are kind of a little bit backwards this afternoon because of the weather patterns. Most of it is just west of Tuscaloosa, quite a bit down around Randolph County and over toward Clay County right now too. All right, quick break from Wall, South Dakota. We'll be back here in just a minute with more. Y'all, 545-9950 if you got some random nonsense or even something serious. We haven't neglected the news of the day. More of that too as we get the headlines. Leland live from Wall, South Dakota at Wall Drug. Y'all stay tuned.